The Book of Genesis, Bereshit, Chapter 1. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth came to be formless and empty, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of Elohim said, "Let light come to be." And light came to be. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good. And Elohim separated the light from the darkness. And Elohim called the light day. And Yahuwah was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. And Yahuwah said, "I am going to wipe off man, whom I created from the face of the ground, both man and beast, creeping creature, and birds of the heavens, for I am sorry that I have made them." But Noach found favor in the eyes of Yahuwah. This is the genealogy of Noach. Noach was a righteous man, perfect in his generations. Noach walked with Elohim, and Noach brought forth 3 sons. And Yahuwah said to Noach, "Come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. Of all the clean beasts, take with you 7 pairs, a male and all the earth had one language and one speech. And it came to be as they set out from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said to each other, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." And they had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, "Come, let us build a city and a tower, whose top is in the heavens, and make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered over all the face of the earth." Then Yahuwah came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And Yahuwah said, "Look, they are one people, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. And now they are not going to be withheld from doing whatever they plan to do. Come, let us go there and confuse their language so that they do not understand." After these events, the word of Yahuwah came to Abram in a vision, saying, "Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield. Your reward is exceedingly great." And Abram said, "Master Yahuwah, what would you give for heir? But he who comes from your own body is your heir." And he brought him outside and said, "Look now toward the heavens, and count the stars if you are able to count them." And he said to him, "So are your seed." And he believed in Yahuwah, and he reckoned it to him for righteousness. And he said to him, "I am Yahuwah, who brought you out of." And he said to Abram, "Know for certain that your seed are to be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. But the nation whom they serve I am going to judge, and afterward let them come out with great possessions." On the same day, Yahuwah made a covenant with Abram, saying, "I have given this land to your seed, from the river of Mitzrayim." She fled from her presence. And the messenger of Yahuwah found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, by the spring on the way to Shur. And he said, "Hagar, Sarai's female servant, where have you come from, and where are you going?" And afterward his brother came out with his hand holding on to Esau's heel. So his name was called Jacob. And Yitzhak was 60 years old when she bore them. And the boys grew up, and Esau became a man knowing how to hunt, a man of the field, while Jacob was a complete man, dwelling in tents. And Yitzhak loved Esau because he ate of his wild game, but Rivkah loved Jacob. And Jacob cooked. And Yahuwah saw that Leah was unloved, and he opened her womb. Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, "For Yahuwah has looked on my affliction, because now my husband is going to love me." And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, "Because Yahuwah has heard that I am unloved, he gave me this son too." And she called his name Shimon. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, "Now this time my husband is joined to me." Said, "I am not letting you go until you have blessed me." So he asked him, "What is your name?" And he said, Yaakov. And he said, Your name is no longer Yaakov, but Yisrael, because you have striven with Elohim and with men, and have overcome. And Yaakov asked him, saying, Please. 37. And Yaakov dwelt in the land of his father's sojourning, in the land of Canaan. This is the genealogy of Yaakov. Yosef, being 17 years old, you were his cupbearer. But remember me when it is well with you, and please show loving commitment to me, and mention me to Pharaoh, and get me out of this house. For truly I was stolen away from the land of the Hebrews, and also I have done naught that they should put me into the dungeon with yourselves, because you sold me here. For Elohim sent me before you to preserve life. For 2 years now the scarcity of food has been in the land, and there are still 5 years in which there is neither plowing nor harvesting. And Elohim sent me before you to preserve for you a remnant in the earth, and to give life to you by a great escape. So then you did not send me here, but Elohim, and he has set me for a father to Pharaoh. They were dim with age, and he was unable to see. And he drew them near him, and he kissed them and embraced them. So Yosef brought them from between his knees, and he bowed down with his face to the earth. And Yosef took them both, Ephraim with his right hand toward Yisrael's left hand, and Manasseh with his left hand toward Yisrael's right hand. And he brought them near, and he blessed Yosef.